So, when I woke up today, November 5th, I was expecting all the crazy news I would hear to be about the election that's happening today. But instead, this is the first thing I see. The final showdown, an update on Generation Zero. Greetings, survivors. It's been a while since we released the August 2024 update, and many of you have been asking what's next. Well, we're here to answer that question today. Over the past 6 years, we've added tons of new features and content to Generation Zero: base building, introduced a home to customize and defend. Soviet machines joined the fray as a new faction. The companion helped us stand up against the enemy, and the vulture posed as a formidable new threat. In turn, you've spent the last 6 years destroying machines, hunting rivals, and keeping the resistance alive. We're truly honored that you've accompanied us on this journey for so long. Everything you've achieved has led up to this point. With this in mind, we've arrived at a special and decidedly bittersweet announcement. It's with the utmost love and tremendous pride that we announce we are now working on the last update for Generation Zero. We feel now is the right time to finalize our vision for our beloved game and give it the send-off it deserves. So, without further ado, let's talk about this last hurrah, our magnum opus, the Showdown update. In the Showdown update, we are concluding the story arc that's been building throughout the main missions and in-game lore. The story of Osterhorn is reaching its third act in this mysterious, intense, explosive finale, and the Resistance will need you once more. Here is a small peek, and they show this image that I'm not really sure what it's supposed to mean exactly, but whatever. Most of the Showdown update will take place in a new area that you haven't been to before. This new area will not be as sprawling as Himfall, but it will give us the space needed to tell the last part of our narrative. You can look forward to exploring new terrains with a unique feel and many bits of environmental storytelling, just like you're used to. In preparation, we advise you to gather all Soviet nesting dolls collectibles and catch up on the attached lore. Those are part of the Landfall update. They were a bunch of lore about the Soviet machines and why they're hostile to us. Concluding the story in this new location is not the only focus of this update. Of course, we're working on including as many bits of community feedback as we can too. We'll be adding 3 new experimental weapons to round out the catalog of the base game weapons that have EXP versions. To allow you to unlock all skill upgrades and complete the endgame experience, we're uncapping all skill points. We've also been working on new cosmetics, which you'll be able to earn in various ways. Lastly, as always, we're introducing new quality of life improvements and fixing lots of bugs. I really hope that last part's true. And as you can see, there's a lot in store for you as you experience the conclusion to your journey in the game. There are a few more surprises awaiting you in Osterhorn, but those will be for you to discover yourselves. Now, I can't say I didn't see this coming, because I did, but it's still real bittersweet. I've talked before about how Generation Zero is probably in its final days, and while the Skyfire update did give me some hope that it might go on, I still knew the game probably didn't have much longer. Now, thankfully, Avalanche isn't just dropping the game, they're giving it one last big update, and from that, they're saying it might be one of the biggest in this game's entire 5+ year history. I've talked before about what I wanted in a final update. The biggest thing I've said on the topic is that the story needs a proper conclusion, preferably on one of the inaccessible islands on the map, so that we have a new place to explore as well. And this update seems to intend to do both of those things, so at the moment I'm feeling pretty optimistic about it just from those two things alone. On top of that, as mentioned, they're uncapping the skills to let you unlock all of the upgrades. Now, I know some people are disappointed the skills aren't going to get more substantial changes. I mean, I even made a video where I was asking for more than that, but I'm honestly fine with this. What disappoints me a lot more than this is it seems like augments will never come to experimentals, which is something I've wanted ever since they were added. They've also said there's secrets being added that they won't spoil. I'm hoping this means that the many locked doors with no keys throughout the game will finally be able to be opened, but what this really means we won't know until the update comes out. For those who don't like how much DLC the game has had, you'll also like this update. Their dev letter directly states that it will not have any paid content. I never personally minded the DLCs myself, but I'm glad this update will be purely focused on base game content instead of stuff you have to pay extra for, because that means everyone who has the game will get it. They've also said that there will be occasional community events and other things like that in the future, so there will be at least some stuff worth coming back to every once in a while. And on top of that, I'm still probably going to boot this game up occasionally for years to come, just for the fun combat, just to mess around for a little while. I'll probably also do extra new playthroughs, which is something I haven't bothered with for years at this point, but I should really replay all the missions at some point on a new world. Now, there's no release date for this update yet, but when it happens, expect to see a video from me covering it. In fact, I may or may not live stream playing the new content. I'm not really sure yet. I still have other Generation Zero content planned too. I'll probably do some final videos about the overall completed package of Generation Zero after this comes out. And also probably do another video about all the ways that it's affected my life, because it's been a lot more than just playing the game. I've made friends and connections from the community around this game. For now, that's all we know about the Showdown update. It's definitely sad to see the end of Generation Zero, but I'm more glad that it happened than I am sad that it's over. We still got an amazing game with more content and replayability than 90% of AAA titles I've played in the last decade, for a really good price too. If you're somehow watching this video as someone who doesn't have the game, I can't recommend it enough. For the asking price, it's one of the best deals you'll get on all of Steam, and that is not an exaggeration. And there's also hope for more stuff like Generation Zero, because the dev letter says that while a sequel isn't currently planned, they won't discount the possibility of more projects in the same universe. Whatever these devs do next, I will absolutely be at least checking it out. They've earned that much after they supported Generation Zero for so many years after the game released. If a sequel does happen someday, you can bet I'll be there day one playing it. And even after the game is no longer supported, there will still be plenty to do in it. The modding community will probably, for one thing, have an easier time now since they won't have to constantly keep up with new updates. And also, the game's multiplayer is entirely peer-to-peer, so you'll always be able to hop on with some buddies no matter how many years it's been. And the devs still plan to interact with the community too. This game and the community it built will always be special to me and many others. I've met multiple people through this game who have gone on to be some of my closest online friends. It's hard to even imagine how different my entire online life would be without this game. I'll be keeping an eye out on the game in the meantime, and if there's any major new information that comes out, I'll leave it in the description and pinned comment. Thanks for watching. This was a relatively short video because I wasn't talking about an update, I was just talking about the announcement of an update. I still wanted to cover this because I've been talking on and off about a potential end of Generation Zero for a while, and I'm very happy that they seem to be doing what I've said I wanted, which is to finish the story, because let's be honest, the main game's ending is kind of There's no final boss, you just walk in, plant a bomb, not even a bomb, like an EMP thing, and walk out, that's it. So I'm glad we're getting something more substantive than that. It's a bummer that we're not going to get all of the unused islands, but it sounds like we'll be getting at least one of them from this. When the update does come out, I will be making it, like I said, I'll be making a video about it as fast as possible, and I might even live stream myself playing the new stuff, so keep an eye out for that if you're interested. And probably I will definitely make some more Generation Zero content, but once I've covered everything there is to cover with this game, I'll probably move on to other stuff with this channel. I know a lot of the viewers of this channel are Generation Zero people, but I hope you'll stick around to see what else I do, because I do have other stuff I'm interested in doing on here, other gaming related stuff. So there will still be plenty to come back to here, but after a while it won't be Generation Zero, because without any new updates there won't really be much to talk about. I'll be making quite a few like final videos about Generation Zero, but those will be it, and after that I'm moving on to something else which we all knew this was going to happen someday. It's a bummer to see it happening, but here we are. We all knew Generation Zero couldn't last forever. Honestly, it's amazing that it lasted as long as it did. I mean, we had like 5 good years of consistent updates and new content. And even now, like I said, the base game we have with all these updates is still a good package. It's still absolutely worth the money. It's like, I think the game's only like $40 and it's got way more than $40 of value in it. So if you still haven't bought the game, you really should get it. So yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Hopefully it'll be sooner rather than later.